Welcome to Seasoned Woman 1900s. Today I was still thinking about my dad. It's Christmas. I was more or less thinking about men in general, and then it kind of rolled into my dad, and I'll explain that later. But I was thinking about men, and being that we as women get older, they get it older too, although it seems to escape their mental grasp that they are older, but they turn around and pretty much demonize women for getting older. And we do it to ourselves too. And I get that it's a biological reason why being younger is so much more attractive. There are biological reasons, but again, in the age that we're in, I think we need to come to an awareness about some of our instincts. And I get we're going to have those regardless. And younger women are beautiful. When we are in this age, we're winding down the baby making, which is a part of the attraction men have to us, the ability to make babies with us. And some of us age well, some don't age at all. So we're lucky to be at this age, right? We're lucky to be at this age to have experienced so many things. Our yesterdays are full of events. Some things we're ashamed of, but some things we are damn proud of. And some we have to pat on our back in silence for. But I hear a lot of age shaming. And believe me, we older women understand where younger people are. You know, they have no concept of what they're getting ready to walk into each and every day. Because as we were born, we started the aging process. So it's inevitable that they will age. But here's the thing I want to talk about is us as women giving up on ourselves. And it's so easy to do. We have a society that is so geared toward everything being of youth. And then we have husbands cheating on wives with younger women, or younger women coming in and essentially diverting the man's attention to her, and he divorces his wife he built a fortune with, 28 years with, built something from nothing. They had nothing. A woman was telling me, built it, and she had a really beautiful home in a very, very expensive part of town. And at first she came off as a complete, oof. I was like, whatever. But then I started engaging her in conversation, and she began to tell me, yeah, she found out he was living a totally different life with a woman of another culture, a young one, and at 60 years old, he was now doing the C word, older and doing drugs. And I said, are you mad? She was like, no, not really. she thought he was very stupid. But in men, they seek adventure all the time. They have to have some type of adventure. If they didn't grow up properly, they have to have some type of adventure going on. It just releases some. Some men find contentment because they know who they are, they know what they want, and they're content. And they happen to pick the right partner where that brought that peace and contentment to themselves. That does exist. That I don't know, the pain I still heard in her voice, kind of. You know, I actually picked her up from a spa, and we're busy trying to fight that aging process. Sometimes, we go too far and we make ourselves look worse, but as long as we spent good money for that, we feel a sense of gaining that once dominating spirit that we had it still. We're still trying to feel like we have it. But, judging from that woman, I have learned in the past year never to idolize anybody's life, no matter how much money they have. She's not the first. Several other people I've encountered, very rich but very miserable. I'm not saying that she's miserable, but she's at that question of, age. What do I do with myself, Our whole life was built on the premise of finding love, joy and happiness seems like an illusion, seems like an absolute lie, too. And I think we should, at this age, focus on contentment. Some of us have had the greatest love of our lives. Some of us have never even come close. Some came close and still believe that they missed the opportunity or messed it up. There's no mistakes. There's only lessons. You're either winning or you're learning a lesson. That's what someone told me, and I stick by it. That's always stuck in my head. But we're in that mode where we're not young anymore, but we're not old, and we see the old part approaching fast. How do we find value in ourselves? Everything that we've done this far, experienced in life, has served that value. And we're fighting to be recognized as still beautiful and still turning heads, or something about us is attracting, men or whoever we're involved with. Something was attracting. Now our skin is sagging. We're fighting that. We're injecting Botox and fillers and, try to deter the inevitable, the inevitable. But I've encountered some women who had men that just, they were such in sync, they both finished each other's sentences. And I thought, God, I never had that. I never had that kind of thing. So in sync with one person. Sometimes we get so wrapped up in our own heads that we don't recognize what's going on in a marriage or in a partnership or what in life in general. We are so in our heads because we think we know we automatically have the answer. That answer has kept us from some things as well. but it has also protected us and our family at the same time, right? And our kids. But that factors into why we feel this way now. Our kids are grown and they're on their own, and we have no one else depending on us anymore. So we try to create ways to feel needed. We interfere in our kids' life. We hang around too much. We strive to find needed. We get into extreme political views because it's our way of feeling needed somewhere. We become very radical. If you see a lot of the radicals on both ends, it's very telling, especially on one side. It's very telling. And most have given themselves over to a cult-like mentality because, again, when you look at life, there's two roads, the high road or the low road, and it's so easy to travel the low road because it's so much safer, it's less effort, and because we're in a state of anger seems like our best friend, but it's not. It's the force that's driving everybody away from you. And why you feel lonelier than you've ever felt in your life. Not because you're the needy part, but because that anger is producing worthlessness within and eroding your inner soul. Have you ever met old people that want to be angry at somebody for something and they keep finding one thing or another, but refuse to even acknowledge or open their eyes because the high road is really tough because you have to climb up it. You have to make an effort. And life is a journey. And we get tired, we get wore out at this. When we're older, we get wore out. Y'all young ones, yeah, you could sit there and call people old, but you'll be here because the one thing we know as we get older in life, you will face your words. Whatever words you're saying when you're younger, you will face them one day. You don't get to escape. Well, even if somebody passes away early, some kind of way it pays because when you study if you have a general knowledge of physics, energy returns to itself. Whatever bad energy you put out there, you will receive back. Everybody talks about that. And we got the famous word karma that we slapped on that. You don't get to escape it either. So watch what you're saying, because you will get tested in your own words. Oh, I can handle. No, you won't. No, you won't. It'll come at the most inconvenient time ever. And that's just how it is. We know that by now. But I would love to be younger, for one thing, to redo my life and make better choices. And although I believe, it was a series of lessons, they were sometimes lessons I didn't need to learn. But I put myself in those predicaments and I had to learn them by the choices I made. The naivety in my mind sometimes, or the lack of knowledge, or believing I had the absolute answer and it wasn't. So now we're at that crossroad where how we process things and what motivates us in our behaviors and our actions, it no longer applies. So we're at that crossroad where it's time to shift. And it's scary because it's the high road. Because we know better now. And the men that dismiss us, let me tell you something. The men that step to us, women, listen, the men that step to us are either younger and daring, or younger and they really care about you, or they're our age and they have huge woo-has and low-hanging balls that are heavy, because these men know who they are. Yes, they may not have it like they did 20, 30 years ago, but they still got it. Those are the men. They called them men. Them's the men. Them is the real men. And when they step to a woman, a seasoned woman, you know that man is about something. Because it seems at this age when we're trying to date that all that's left is the ones always trying to get over, still in the mode of I got to get mine and I'll use anyone and anything to get it, and still never learn the lesson that whatever you do puts you 10 steps behind. It's those men that that aren't any further than where they were 20, 30 years ago because of their foolishness. Those are the ones that have something to say. Those are the ones that put you down still. They use that tactic of putting you down and pointing out faults and degrading you and devaluing you. Just that silly game people played when you were in your 20s and early 30s. It was effective then. It's not effective now because y'all know it. Y'all know it. And you're either choosing to walk away from it or you're choosing to deal with it because there's something else you want out of it, like a ring for once in your life. And that's okay. It's okay. We're okay, is my point. My point all is saying all this. We're okay. And we need to define this part of our life. We are the youth of old age. We're not the old of youth. We're the youth of old age. We have to define this portion as women of a particular age. We have to pump our energy into defining this time. And we might have admirers if we do. But we need to not care about those. But we need to live our lives, do the things that we told ourselves or talked ourselves out of. Do those things that you dreamed of or you wanted to accomplish in your life. Do those things for you, not for the attention of anybody else, but because you want it to. You don't need to be needed by other people. You need to be needed by you. And this is the time where we could take to heal that inner child that everybody keeps talking about. Nurture her because nobody else was there for her. And you even abandoned her, trying to be needed by other people. Now you have the time to cater to that need within yourself and do the things that you've always loved to do. Well, I'm done talking about this. I'm glad to be my age. I'm glad to be at the point where I don't care about the things that I used to care about. I'm glad. I'm glad for the blessings that we are still here. Regardless of religion, it's a blessing. Some of us see the fruits of our labor, and some of us are made bad decisions and trying to get some fruits. At any rate, I want you to have a wonderful day and keep your head up And join me for my next video. I don't know what it'll be on. I haven't defined this niche thing yet. All I know is about getting older and dealing with life, period. All right. Have a good night. Have a good morning or whenever you're listening to this. All right. Bye.